Today's masterclass would be unique because first we will cover all indicators, because before we covered only some indicators, for example, like volume profile, big trades. Today I will show to you how you can unite them in one system, and I will show to you perfect example how order flow would help you take just sniper trades. Because in all of those cases, if you would take a trade, your risk would be tiny and potential reward in many times bigger. I will show to you my results, how I use order flow, because I think it's important that the best way to learn is to follow someone who already have results that you would like to get. Why most of traders open really bad trades, take trades too late, something like that. Also, how order flow help you read real buyers and sellers, because in the end, market, it's about buyers and sellers, how they participate. And when you understand the buyer stronger or seller stronger, that's exactly a moment when you need to take a trade. After that, of course, what ATAS indicators are used for sniper entries. Additionally, I will show to you how we set up them on ATAS. Additionally, how to create beautiful templates, because I really love to use indicators in ATAS, how to add hotkeys, like everything that I use. After that, how to set up those indicators step by step. Additionally, there would be bonus for every participant of this masterclass. And at the end, there would be 3 examples how you can use order flow for real entry, stop loss, take profit.
Regarding me, I'm in trading more than 10 years, co-founder of Bybit Trading Academy. I trade futures, especially I scalp indexes, Nasdaq on daily basis, and also I trade crypto with order flow. And today I will show to you how you can, what exactly you can do to use order flow properly, because every market has different players, every market has different movements, and without understanding, you will never be able to adapt order flow to your style. Let's go. First, what I'll show today, remember that I trade, as I told you, I trade futures on daily basis. What I'll show to you, it would be practical knowledge. Even yesterday, as you can see, I traded a session, and honestly, I did a mistake because I hurried up. If I wouldn't hurry up, I would make more than 2,000 per Z trading session. Sometimes I have, I would say, perfect trading days. What I will show to you, once more, it's not a theory. I will show to you a practical stuff that you can implement even today during next session. Please listen carefully, because ATAS, I think it is the best tool that you can use for order flow trading. Why do we use order flow? Before you're using order flow, you need to understand that there is a reason why we use it. When I started my path, I started as a regular guy who learned trend lines, key levels, you name it, all other stuff, all other approaches. When I started, there was no smart money, but at this moment, like a lot of people talk about smart money, it didn't work. I always was frustrated. For example, I blew out my account, and there was a period when I remember when I was a student, I went to a park and I cried because I had big expectations, big dreams, because I grew up in a poor family, and I had desire to change my destiny, and I saw how all my savings disappeared. And that's a reason for you why you need order flow, because order flow is only one way how you actually can perform in a market and have some edge. Main reason, because it's accuracy, because you don't guess, you see that some player enters the market, moves that price, and you simply follow them. Because in the end, what I do believe, in a market, you can make money only in 2 cases. Major case, it is when you follow someone big, when market maker aggressively push the price into their direction. It could be different reasons, option flow, they build significant position, time to hedge, like that. Many different reasons why market makers build significant positions, and your major go follow. Only with order flow you can see it by your own eyes that they do it. That's why you need that's why once more you need order flow. Let me show to you this example. Few days ago I traded this session where I took beautiful long. As you can see, I took beautiful long. There was significant limit order, there was delta absorption, and you can see here on MNQ it was exactly my execution. It's impossible to take such trade without order flow. Additionally, have a look on this part. It is VWAP from day opening. At VWAP, you face significant delta absorption and there's significant limit order at value area low. That's how you read market, completely different with order flow, because you understand what's key areas, you understand what would be your confirmation, and you take trade, you perform. And when you are right, you make money in many times more. Because once more, even with order flow, you just need to understand you won't make money because you will be right in every situation. You will make money because your stop loss would be, for example, 300, your take profit would be 1,200. That's how you will make money. Once more, regarding order flow. Without order flow, how could you take a trade, for example, trade where I made more than 1,000, it was exactly here. How could you understand without order flow that here is a good place to take a trade? For example, we have previous day POC, we have delta absorption, and we had VWAP. And here there was clearly limit orders in a DOM depth of market. Without order flow, it's some random chart in the middle. Liquidity sweep must be here. That's why to get such beautiful trades and also perform, make good money, you need to set up order flow indicators properly. Honestly, for me, it's difficult to call them indicators, because in the end, it is a data. Because indicators from my point of view, it's like some MACD, RSI, some other stuff that use some mathematical formula which you will never understand. What I'll show to you, it is raw data, just at different angle, and that data will help you to take best trades. What indicators do we use with my team to get such results? First, it is I will show this list, and after that we will go deeply in each indicator, and I will show to you how to set up all of them, how to create proper templates in ATAS and use them in the future. First, it is a VWAP. I love VWAP because VWAP helps me to understand trend direction, key zones, and it's useful to use during trend market and useful to use during range market, because deviations, I will show to you how to set up properly deviations in ATAS. Cumulative delta, volume, and delta profile. I also love delta profile. Delta profile is beautiful to understand breakout and absorption. I will show to you several examples how delta profile just was best support resistant, how delta profile was just best support resistant. Delta correlated candles, big trades. I know there are some popular guys that call it big bubbles, but guys, ATAS created big trades indicator several years ago, and it's easy to use. I will show you my settings, clusters, bar statistic, DOM levels, and order flow or the tape. Let's dive deeply into each indicator. Before, I want to remind you about special bonus that each of you can get. All of you can get already ready set up and ready to use my templates with all of those indicators that you can immediately take a trade and perform. Below this video, below this live session, there would be a special link. You can open it. It would be exactly where you will get, once more, all indicators set up. My team additionally will help you to set them up, and you can get access to our community where we trade American session on daily basis. First, it is a VWAP. In ATAS, you can get several VWAPs. Let me open ATAS. At this moment, you can see my setup that I use, my trading setup. The tape, it is this one, when you see all trades in real time. Because you can open indicator, it is the tape. I don't like it. I like to see it on a chart. But in that, it is the real-time orders. Also, you can see those real-time orders when you open DOM indicator. I will show to you the difference and how I use it. Because once more, there are a lot of indicators, and your major task is to make it simple. Because sometimes when you overcomplicate, it's difficult to analyze, because there could be too much indicators in one place. Why I love VWAP and why do I use it and how I use it. In ATAS, you can set up VWAP, as you can see, automatic VWAP. Let me delete this one. You can set up this automatic VWAP, but honestly, I don't use it because for me, it's easy to build anchor. Because sometimes when I see some significant volume, let's delete. Oh, like it is today's trading session before opening. I personally use anchored VWAP. In ATAS, you can find it really easy. Here, there would be this one, drawing tools. There would be volume analysis, and you can see anchored VWAP. When you press it, and here you can start building VWAP. I personally don't use anymore this manual because I simply don't use it. Remind to use that hotkeys you can set up in ATAS because I personally set up a hotkey. How you do it here in settings, there would be hotkeys, and you can see charting. What I did, I added into a charting anchored VWAP. Let me show it to you. W, as you can see, anchored VWAP. In most cases, I use hotkeys because that's really useful. That's really easy to do. And here, as you can see, I built VWAP. If there is a situation, let me add few days. For example, let's add 3 days. If there are situations that, for example, I see some structure break, what can I do? I can at any moment rebuild VWAP and see where is the key support, where is the key resistance. Plus, on VWAP, what do I analyze? First, we have VWAP itself. It is red line. Also, we have deviations. Deviations, it is how volume represent in time. And have a look here. What do we have? For example, this 0.5 VWAP deviation played out as a key support. And in the future, when you see delta absorption at this key area, and especially if there are some aggressive volume, that's exactly a place where you would like to take a trade. And regarding deviations, as you can see here, it is first deviation, second, third, volume total behind the chart. What beauty in ATAS, for any deviation, you can create a template, and in the future, when you, for example, you see that market rhythm is different and you need to change it. At any moment, it's really easy to switch. For example, we have VWAP, first deviation, 1.5 and second. Easy to use. And here, what you do, look, that's it. That's a reason why I don't use those automatic, because for me, anchor VWAP is easy. Choose what better for you. The most important, once more, why you need VWAP. VWAP shows to you trend direction, because if price above VWAP, with bigger chance there would be trend continuation. You must look for a bullish. Plus, VWAP shows to you discount areas and overpriced areas. If you see that price in an uptrend and price around second VWAP deviation, that's not the best place to take long trade, because there could be pullback at any moment. But if price around VWAP, that's exactly your golden area where you should plan for a next trade. Additionally, regarding VWAP, I use VWAP as for insight in trading day, and also I advise all of you to use VWAP for bigger time frames, because often what you will see when price starts some structure, often you will see that VWAP or some deviations could work as the powerful support resistant areas for a global trend. Example like here, you can see price started a move from this area, which we will discuss today, because that was maybe one of the best delta absorptions that I saw in my life. And since that moment, what price did? Retested VWAP, retested VWAP, retested VWAP, broke VWAP. And you can see how VWAP played out as a dynamic support for this local several days trend on a chart. VWAP useful. Next one, it is a cumulative delta, or CVD. And here would be, as you can see, the CVD, cumulative delta indicator. Here in a search, you simply type CVD, cumulative delta. I use standard cumulative delta, nothing special on the candles, and that's it. Why do you need delta? Because delta shows to you aggression. For example, sometimes you will see a situation when a lot of volume enters the market, and often that volume could lead to some significant move. For example, like here, we had, as you can see on Friday, have a look, we had aggressive buyers that started buying before opening. And opening started with this gap. And because of that, yesterday I was only bullish because there was, as you can see, there was no major aggressive sellers. There was no structure break. And that's the reason why yesterday we had beautiful trend continuation. The next one, let's volume and delta profile. Once more, main reason why I use both of them. This one I use as for a bigger time frames, as also I use it for a local time frames. What's the main beauty of delta profile and volume profile? Because in many cases, it can show to you area of absorption or area where volume will be broken and will become with bigger chance key support or resistance. Because once more, remember, if there are mega positive delta, it means that someone built long position and someone short. And for you, the most important, who will be stronger. In this case, this situation we will break down within a few minutes with you. And I will show to you how this area will become powerful, just support resistance from which you will be happy to take a trade. How you set up them in ATAS? First, regarding volume profile. I use volume profile in next cases. First, on this chart, I use volume profile, as you can see, this indicator, market profile and TPO. Really easy to set up. This indicator helped me to analyze session and daily volume. To set it up, it's really easy. You go market profile TPO. Here would be profile, daily, and the most important profile type, volume. As you can see at this moment, I scroll all my settings and apply. And you will have such beautiful profile. Additionally, you could have, for example, TPO. If you would like, if you trade single prints, POC on TPO, poor low, poor high, you can set up also all of this stuff in ATAS and analyze it. I personally don't use it in most cases. That's why I use it only this one. Also, there another type of volume profile which I advise you to use in ATAS. It is a composite volume profile. Main beauty of that volume profile is that you can create a volume profile in areas where you wish. Example for you. Here you go this one, volume analysis, and there would be profile and TPO, and fixed profile and TPO. I set up a hotkey for myself at this moment, as you can see what I did, and I can build a profile in area where I would like. What data do we have here? We can analyze it differently, because here you can see you also here can choose TPO or profile. Also, regarding profile type, you can do volume, trades, bid-ask, delta correlated, delta over volume, delta proportion to volume, and of course delta to volume. I prefer this two, or delta to volume, or delta, or the last one, delta proportion to volume, or delta to volume. Why these two? Because once more, it's important to understand what's going on behind the candles. And even here, you can see what price did. Price, for example, started this upward structure. Price retested at that moment range low, and have a look what happened at range. You can see this mega delta absorption. I remember the trading day, because here it was, have a look on this massive cluster. That's exactly a place where you need to take a trade. I was out. I didn't take trade here. I missed it, but I recorded all of this for you. And once more, it's really easy. Maybe sometimes you need only delta or volume. What you do, save template, and for example, delta to volume, delta plus profile, delta only. And here, for example, for you, At any moment, what do? You open settings. You can choose on what time frames to analyze and template. For example, delta only, delta plus profile, delta to volume. Beautiful. At any moment, you can choose it. You can check it. Regarding this from right side, I use this indicator. It is exactly this one. Volume analysis, fixed profile, and TPO. The same as with all other indicators, you can do different templates. For example, delta, my apology, settings, because most of templates for today's day, template, previous day volume profile, as you can see. We analyze previous day volume profile. Template, previous day delta profile. You can create as many templates, volume profile, because volume profile, it is for today's session, which didn't start it, it is for America. Once more, I created a hotkeys. As you can see, volume, where is it? Volume analysis. As you can see, this part, it is a hotkeys because it's very easy with those hotkeys to take a trade, to build it on a chart and have it. Delta correlated candles, this indicator shows to you, as you can see, create candles red, green, based on a delta. Now, I use bars because for me it's important to see that correlation. You can see at this moment, like this, yesterday's session, closer to green, it means that a lot of delta entered the chart. Closer to red, it means that a lot of delta entered the chart. It's just another visualization of delta. As you can see, this one, delta correlated candles. That's my settings for 2,500 on NQ contract chart. Big trades, aka big bubbles. Big trades, they look on a chart like this one. I honestly love to analyze them because in many cases, those big trades really could play out as a powerful support resistant areas. As you can see, my working template on ATAS, I have two major screens where I analyze it. On this screen, I have this, as you can see, big trades. What's beauty in ATAS? You can go to big trades. Here, as you can see, settings, cumulative trades, I analyze minimum volume 90. Some people use auto filter. Honestly, didn't try. Some of you could try and tell me about your experience. Visualization mode, as you can see, it could be triangle, rectangle, diamonds, only price. I love ellipses. Plus, this footprint selected transparency. As you can see, it could be footprint transparency. You can make them transparent. You can make them to see it better. And sizes. Minimum size, for example, 10, like 20. Maximum size 50. I honestly 3, 10, 20. And also, additionally, there must be behind the chart background. You simply can copy or create also several templates and in the future change it if you wish. For example, there is a situation, you see big trades, but at some moment you would like to see values, like no values. At any moment you can switch. Really beautiful. Next one. It is a cluster chart plus cluster statistic and the tape. I have it in one place because to be honest, I don't use a heat map because I prefer to analyze in this way. As you can see, clusters, what I do, 30 seconds time frame. Here I see each candle. We have two information. We have volume, total volume, and a cluster. Why do I do it? Because together, because that helped me to see areas where some really massive volume enter. Example for you, as when I built for you volume profile like here, why I analyze both clusters, because for me it's important to see areas where in one cluster we have big domination by buyer or seller, because often such areas become powerful support resistant. As example here, you can see cluster, you can see 1K, out of 1K, 993 were sellers. And those sellers didn't broke through. And you can see it was exactly a bottom. Imagine people who sold here, they sold exactly into a bottom. And cluster statistic at bottom, it's exactly this indicator. Why do we use it? Because when I see that there, for example, huge delta, for example, here I understand that there was some positive maximum delta is big. Why analyze max, mean, and delta? Because sometimes there could be significant absorption. For example, candle start and we have maximum delta huge, but candle close at the end with, for example, red. For me, it's clear that someone could be absorbed. DOM levels. DOM levels I analyze here. As you can see, some of you could use a heat map, but I prefer to analyze DOM levels here because for me it's easy to zoom in and zoom out. That's the reason why I prefer to analyze DOM levels. DOM levels, it is this indicator, as you can see, depth of market, which shows to you real-time DOM orders on a chart. You can analyze it in a depth of market. You can build this indicator. Once more, why I use this indicator? Because for me, it's easy to see at any moment where big orders stay. And when price reach it, based on clusters, I will see how those orders will be executed. If price breaks them or they will be canceled. That's why at any moment I see real interaction between buyers and sellers. Why I don't use a heat map? Because heat map, my trading style does not require it. I can take trades without a heat map. I prefer, honestly, this indicator on ATAS. It is DOM levels, which I set up on a chart. Because still, for me, the most important only really large orders that stay on a chart for a significant period of time. And at any moment, I can zoom in, zoom out, plus by using big trades, I can see how price interact with those orders. And the last one, my friend, it is order flow, the tape. Order flow indicator, some people could call it the tape because at any moment you can see real-time orders. Because sometimes I saw many times when price, for example, started some move, we have like absorption, and I see some big orders that started, for example, buying. And for me, it could be a signal that buyers step in and I should go up. These indicators work together. Each indicator show one part of the market. Together, they will give you a full picture. Within few minutes, I will show to you 3 best examples how all of them can give you a full picture. This setup, as you can see, took time. Even to show to you really fast, it took time. I tested, adjusted, and connected everything, so you don't need to start from zero. Your bonus is next. Once more, special bonus for every participant of this masterclass. ATAS templates for which work really well for NQ, ES, Gold, FX, and crypto. Masterclass and step-by-step instruction how to install those indicators. Additionally, my team will help you to set it up correctly, and access to our private traders club where we trade most US sessions. Open this link, write your name, email, and phone number with international standard, and my team will help you to set it up and get all access. ATAS, beautiful platform where you have a lot of indicators, but sometimes you can use too much of them. You need to know how to use them in a proper way. That's what exactly we will help you to do with ATAS. That's why I use ATAS. Volume, delta, liquidity, and order flow help us read full market picture and find setups behind result like this. It's my last trading days. Once more, as I told you, I trade nearly each US session, and what I showed to you, it is our pure practice that work for us. And if you want to also get such results, once more, fill that form. Oh my God. At this moment, I prepared for you 3 best examples how you can use order flow to get best trades in the future, because order flow, I think it is the best way. And today I will show to you how you can combine it. I have 3 examples: big absorptions that lead to a 3-day move, a breakout from a range, and mega drop. Let's cover this one. Breakout from a range, it is the first example. I recorded for you several trading sessions. And at this moment, let me open that recording. Within a few seconds, I will show to you how the price did the move in the middle of a range. And after that, there was a massive move up. And that's just example for you how ATAS in the future will also help you to take such trade. As you can see on a chart, price was here. It was, I would say, in the middle of a range. Nothing special, but within few seconds, you will see how order flow changed everything. Let's accelerate. As you can see here, that's by the way, an example for you why I use depth of market as here, all order flow and DOM levels. Because you can see here, I see significant limit order appeared. And that's it. That's the reason why I do not open a book map. I know that some of you like a book map. ATAS spent a lot of time and efforts to do it, but that's my way. Maybe for you, a heat map, book map will be better to use. Once more, test and choose what would be best for you. And you can see here, once more, clusters. This this red square and green square, it is big trades. You can see the screen also, and volume profiles, delta profile and volume profile. Okay, have a look. I think for you it was obvious that this order was filled. As you can see, 210 was filled. Have a look what's going on after. You can see that after this order got filled, the tape did not accelerate. It's accelerated, but a little bit. There's nearly no big orders, because here I have filter. I don't see orders below 5. Only above 5 we can see here. And you can see here a little bit accelerated, a little bit accelerated. That's the example for you how big guys sometimes create traps. That's exactly a moment for you, which I want to show to you. You can see the price dropping. Someone started buying, but at this moment there is no actual result. Even here you can see some big orders, but still there is no major result. And here, what you will see, just boom. You can see, have a look how the tape accelerate, how big orders started to appear. Boom. 336, 106. And have a look what's going on. Boom. And you can see how big max delta. Some sellers step in, but still they do not deliver any result. My apology, because, and you can see price move up. Some limit orders, some buy limit orders started to appear. Nothing special. And you can see here how in the tape, you can see 50, 50. That's what you would like to see after really big orders started to appear. That aggressive buyers really step in. That's really example of breakout and not some joke. And guess, my friend, what was after this situation? You can see here how, have a look how the tape accelerate. And that's example for you, how you combine together. First, you can see big trades. Big trades appeared. It's definitely that aggressive buyer step in. Cumulative delta also show you this example. POC on volume profile migrated to this area. You can see delta profile at that moment was exactly this. That's example how someone broke through iceberg and bias in this case was stronger. And what's the most beautiful part of this stuff, of this delta, that in the future you can use it as a powerful support and resistance, because most of you at this moment should ask me one simple question. Okay, Yuri, where can we take a trade? And have a look what they did after. They exactly retested. You can see here, it was exactly a moment where they retested delta profile. That's exactly a moment when you take a trade for continuation, because you understand that if those buyers really serious, they must to protect this place. And at this moment in the tape, you will see that some buy orders started to appear. You will see that price move up after buy orders, after sell orders, price does not move down. That's exactly what you need a behavior for buyers in control. You can see here, they even added a limit order again here around this key level. And you can see here what, that's exactly what you would like to see. Sell orders, no reaction. Buy orders, price slowly moves up. That's the best what you would like to see during these circumstances. Again, buyers step in. Here was even some small absorption. Sometimes price can consolidate a little bit those levels. And have a look here how those buyers started a move. Those buyers, as you can see, continue moving the price up. Price, as you can see, consolidate a little bit, and have a look what's going on. And here, have a look, 50, 50, 50, 22. Oh, skittish. Just tell me, how could you see this could happen without order flow? Pay attention to a chart where this was. You can see where did it happen? It happened exactly here, in the middle of, in the middle of a candle. How could you say without order flow that would be beautiful move up? You couldn't. You simply couldn't, because order flow, that's what really moves the price. Price doesn't move because some key level, some smart money stuff, and price move only because the aggressive buyers or aggressive sellers step in and move the price. You can see price started a move before reaching value area low of this composite profile. On this composite profile, pay attention how massive negative delta was inside of this area. You can see massive negative delta exactly here. And what price did? This massive buying started before this massive negative delta. Honestly, it could be a situation that those people who got absorbed here as sellers, someone built position by using their positions. And that's how you can use order flow on the different levels. And you can see it was exactly this moment when that buying started. You can see it was exactly here. This delta became key support, price retested. And after that, we had several days move up without any decent pullback. 3,400 ticks. Okay, let's go to other example. Another example, it is maybe the greatest example of absorptions that I saw in my life. I did it when I spoke. I remember when I spoke with my student regarding it. Sometimes I do with my team. Sometimes we do personal lessons with our students. And main reason why I record all of this stuff, because I share it with my team or I personally use it for private lessons. Here, what you will what do you see? At this moment, in front of your eyes, you can see massive aggressive buyers. At this moment, you can see the delta increase from 0 to nearly 4K, while price was inside of this range. When you see aggressive volume, what you need to understand, volume, it is effort. And there you always should ask yourself, did that effort was rewarded or not? Because imagine some people build huge position, because 4K delta, it means that actual position even bigger. But price did not accelerate. In most cases, I will show to you exactly completely opposite example, how price after such situation accelerated. And let's have a look. Once more, friends, push like if you enjoy what I showed to you, because once more I showed to you how you can set up all indicators in ATAS and work and use them for your benefit to take best trades ever. Once more, pay attention to this massive delta. You can see the delta started to accelerate, and that's an example for you how here I use together. You can see volume profile, delta profile, volume profile, big trades, delta, significant limit orders, clusters, because I can see I have a 3D picture what's going on with volume. For me, it's obvious that something going on because aggressive buyers. Honestly, to be honest, here, if I would take a trade, I would try to take long around the delta, especially below this local consolidation, because trend still bullish. You can see that price is outside of value. In normal cases, it is a good bullish trend which you need to follow. But when you analyze it, have a look here, how volume profile with delta became bigger, how concentrated delta here. In normal cases, there must be breakout acceleration. And what do you see? Delta started to build up, and here there must be acceleration. But you can see big buy orders and something going on. There is no result. And have a look. Delta increased from 0 at this moment to 5K. I saw honestly several trading sessions after such delta that gave 2,000-3,000 ticks move. But here's something going on. Aggressive buying, no result. You can see again, aggressive buying, what price did? Took higher high, no result. And what's going on? And you can see what price started to do. Price started to break structure. And delta only continued to build up. Something going on wrong? Do you agree that in this case, something is wrong? And exactly second video will tell you that something really serious going on. As you can see, it is a continuation of the same situation. What we have, nearly 6K of delta entered inside of this range, and price dropped below that range. Something weird is going on, because if those really aggressive buyers, they need to push through, because it's also doesn't look as a stop loss hunt, because if that would be a stop loss hunt, delta should be also dropping. Nothing. And what's going on? And that's, by the way, an example for you why I analyze the tape, because here exactly before this delta, where most of the delta concentrated, some aggressive sellers step in. Maybe all of this, it is absorption. Guys, what do you think? Maybe it is an absorption? From my point of view, it is absorption, because if those aggressive buyers did not break through, and before them someone started to sell as much as you can, with bigger chance there could be significant move. And have a look what's going on here. You can see aggressive sellers started to step in, some limit orders started to appear, and yes, from that moment, as you can see, my friend, it was exactly a time when price started a move. It was exactly this beautiful, this very moment. Have a look. Have a look on this concentrated delta. And from that moment, what price did, all this downward trend exactly started from that moment. Tell me, please, how could you read it without getting access to data? Major idea of absorption, that there are a lot of efforts and no result. And honestly, once more, it's also important to have a timing, because most of you would use, for example, this platform, and you would see delta and you immediately would take a trade. And in some cases, you will get as many stop losses as possible. Why? Because sometimes there would be real breakout. And next example, I will show to you where we will have a real breakout. But here, what's the most important? Price did a structure break and drop below this delta. And below this delta appeared aggressive sellers. That's the most important. Because when those sellers started to appear, they appeared, as you can see, exactly before delta, where they built significant position. Because next example, what I will show to you, it's completely opposite. When after big volume, price did a massive move. It's exactly this trading day, you can see, where we had completely opposite situation. You can see price started this trading day, and what we had aggressive sellers. You can see delta huge, and honestly, in many cases, it would be, some of you would think maybe there would be absorption. That's the reason why sometimes it's better to wait to see what exactly price will do, and do not hurry up. Because you can see that after this aggressive sellers, first, there is nearly no buying orders. Pay attention, that big orders indicator doesn't show to you any significant buy orders. Price do lower lows. And what also important, you can see price below previous day profiles, which clearly show to us a downward direction. That's why even here, if you would like to take long trade, only after a structure break. As an example for you, you can see big delta. If there would be something like we had in a previous situation, structure break, consolidation above, yes, that's when you take long. If price below that volume, that's exactly a place when you need to follow. And have a look what was here. Each buying order, as you can see, didn't do even a higher high of a candle. You can see every buying order failed. They did not deliver anything. That's example for you how aggressive sellers step in and move the price. But this situation, it's not what I want to show to you, because within a few minutes there would be very, very better and very, very more interesting situation. And have a look here, what price did. You can see price did quite significant drop, because that's example for you how price was under control of sellers. Within few seconds, what I want to show to you, it is one of the greatest examples of mega aggressive sellers, such sellers that you maybe never will see in your life ever again. It's exactly this very moment here, my friend, watch carefully, because this moment will show to you how to understand that there could be absorption. Because in this situation, you will see two examples at the same time. First, have a look on this picture. You can see here buyers started entering while we have this downward trend. And some of you might think that it is a reverse. You have some limit orders and you see the delta started to increase. And as I showed you first example, price did a significant move from delta. But have a look what will happen here. You can see delta accelerate. Some people started to buy as much as possible. And here you might think that, oh, it is a trend reversal and you should start buying. Would you buy here? And after that, I would have a look. Delta aggressively increase. And you started to think that it is a breakout. But all of this stuff had happened against massive trend. And have a look what will happen within few seconds. As you can see here, those buyers got absorbed who tried to break a trend. And have a look what will happen within few seconds. This example, it will be maybe one of the greatest example of breakout that you will see in your life. Have a look how delta started to become negative. You can see aggressive sellers started to step in. Have a look again, aggressive seller, aggressive seller, aggressive seller, aggressive seller. Have a look how aggressive sellers started to move price down. And you can see we have clear downward structure. We don't have even a candle that closes the bull. And that's a reason why sometimes you need to see order flow, but also you need to have some additional confirmations before you actually take a trade. Because even here, if you would try to buy because you think those sellers must be absorbed, it must be absorption. It must be absorption. No, it is absorption. Absorption. And have a look. Have a look how price, in this case, you can see biggest negative delta. And what price did? Price stay below this volume. Not above, but below. Remember previous examples that I showed to you. We had aggressive buyers and price broke structure, and before that volume, buyers started to appear. This case exactly opposite. And have a look. Delta in this case, you can see was minus 213, and right now delta is minus 7K. In this tiny area, we have minus 7K delta, which is huge. And remember, in a previous case, what had happened? In a previous case, we had trend reversal for several days. And what we had here, my friend, we had trend continuation and one of the biggest drop that you will see in your life. This example that I showed to you, it was exactly this very moment. When price, you can see here, let me build volume profile for you, where aggressive sellers started to appear, and it was exactly this moment, and price, you can see, continued dropping until very close of this entire day and drop additional 3,600 ticks. That's example for you why you need to be open-minded and understand how to follow this volume. What you need to understand that you don't need to be right in every case, because once more, my friends, sometimes I also do mistakes, like here, what I showed to you. I do not have 100% win rate, but when I see that volume and I understand properly what would be the direction, beauty that your reward would be many times bigger. You can get 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 3 risk reward, which is enough even if you're right in 50% cases. At this moment, once more, rate this meeting from 1 to 10. Remind to all of you that you can get special bonuses from me and my team It is ATAS templates that you can use for NQ, ES, Gold, FX, and crypto. Masterclass and step-by-step instruction to install all of those indicators. Additionally, my team will help you to set it up, and access to our private traders club where we trade futures market through ATAS on daily basis.